Hi, it's Rich Wyman here. How you doing? I am starting a new thing today. Well, I got my cat, my dog, and my wife here. I'm surrounded by love. I'm going to start by cracking a beer, and we're starting a new feature called Vinyl and Beer.
What kind of beer is that?
Those of you who know me know I love Sierra Nevada, and my favorite Sierra Nevada is a Torpedo. It's a double IPA, 7.3%. I keep my glasses in the freezer. My dad taught me that, and I've taught my sons that. Delicious. Cheers. Oh, after a long day, that's awesome. Tonight's vinyl, for those of you who love vinyl, and I love vinyl. It's amazing. I had so much vinyl when I was young. And in the 80s, when CDs came along, I got rid of it all. Stupid. I have rebuilt my vinyl collection, and tonight we're starting with probably one of my prized possessions, my Led Zeppelin collection. Now, what I have here are the first 3, 4, 5, 6 Led Zeppelin records, and they're all 1970s pressing. In fact, this one's from 1969, this one's from 1969, this one's from 1970.
Yeah, but how do you know they're authentic pressings?
Because every record has a number on it. And you can look it up online and see exactly what year that record was pressed.
It didn't have a barcode back then, right?
The easiest way, when I'm at a record store, that's what I do. If you look on the back, there are no barcodes on the older records. Barcodes didn't come out until the 80s. So if you see a record with no barcode, you know it's from before the 80s. None of these albums have barcodes. This one's a 75 pressing. This one's a 73 pressing. But the most influential one of these records on my life was, of course, the record that has no name. Led Zeppelin 4, also called Zozo.
Oh, that's a good one.
This is one of the greatest records ever. But the influence this record had on me when I was about 9 years old was huge. I remember sitting in the back of my dad's station wagon and Stairway to Heaven came on the radio, and it just mesmerized me. I'd never heard anything like it. To this day, I have to stop what I'm doing when I hear that song and just sit and listen to it. There's one imperfection in the whole recording. There's a missed snare hit. John Bonham plays the snare on almost every single 2 and 4. There's 1 4 he doesn't hit, but I'll let you try and find that.
Did he do that on purpose?
I think it was an accident, but it was such a masterful performance. They said it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but doesn't John Bonham do that kind of shit anyway?
I don't think so. But that to me is the way I work. If you capture a performance and there are little flaws and imperfections, that's what makes it great. And sometimes if you capture a great performance, leave those things in. So much music today is it's all computerized, done on computerized, fixed on computers, auto-tuned, auto-corrected. They suck the life out of it. Great thing about this record, you hear it as it is. The other great thing about this is it's analog, analog, analog. All these records, when you get a record that's made before we went digital, it's analog, analog, analog. When I bought this record, I went up to the guy who owned the record shop with a brand new digitally remastered version, and this from the 1970s. I said, and this one was cheaper. I said, which one should I get? And he said, well, the new remastered one is analog, digital, analog. This is analog, analog, analog.
So
changes the whole sound spectrum.
For those who don't know what analog is, can you tell them quickly?
I can try. Analog is when the sound goes onto a magnetic tape, and it's the sound waves are curves. When you record digitally, it's all done with minute numbers. So if you could look really, 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 really closely at the sound waves of this, it would be a continuous curve. And if you looked really, really, really closely at a digital recording, you would see little steps, because it's all numerical. Now, some people would say the human ear can hear it. Some people would say the human ear can't hear it. Also, a lot of people feel that analog has a natural warmth to it. I could talk another bizarre thing. I had the great pleasure of my life working with Eddie Van Halen and Andy Johns. And guess who engineered this record? Andy Johns.
Yay!
Who I spent several years of my life with.
He's a wild man.
He was a wild man.
But that'll have to be another story.
That's a whole other story. So this is close to my heart because Andy Johns engineered it. But I'm going to put it on for you. And I keep it in plastic. Great thing about records, too. I used to always tell our sons, you know, you can look at a museum, go to a museum and look at a painting or a sculpture or something, but a record that's made in the 1970s, you're hearing it, you're holding it. I mean, this stuff was magical to a 9-year-old in the 70s.
Let's see the picture.
You'd hold this up. This was like mystical and magical. There was something about Led Zeppelin's mystique. And then you pull this out. There's no name on the record. You don't know. It's like, what does this mean? And then you pull the record out. Doesn't really smell.
What are you smelling it for?
And you put it on the turntable. This is something you can't do with a painting in a museum. You actually hold it, you put it on the turntable, you are connected to the whole experience. My turntable's a 1978, rebuilt. I think it's a Pioneer. I don't have my glasses on, I can't tell.
I think it is a Pioneer.
My amp is from the 80s. I get all the stuff at Randy's Records in Salt Lake City.
I turned it over, but I'm rehabbing from a knee surgery, so I'm trying not to get my pillows and everything in the shot.
So, this is our first Vinyl and Beer episode. You were here. We're going to put the record on now, which is the best part. So drink a good beer.
What's the percentage of that
Surround
beer?
yourself with love.
What's the percentage of that beer?
7.3%, in case I didn't say that already. So they're good, strong beers.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to pause it so you can start to play it. Or are you going to play it now?
I'm just going to play it now.
Okay.
So here we go, folks. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this because we're going to be doing this a lot. I'm going to bring out the records I like, the ones that have impacted me the most, talk about the records, talk about how they were made, who made them, how important they are. Music is magic.
And I'm just going to let them hear a little snippet of it, and then they can go out and buy the album and listen to the rest of it.
I'm going to crank it up.
Not-